there's been a slew of anti-worker bills and 9 convention resolutions across the street are attacking unions. It would seem that Conservatives have a bit of a vendetta for organized labor. On top of cutting jobs and slashing programs and services, they've been attacking organized labor with legislation such as Bill 377 and Bill 525. Most recently, they introduced another ideology-driven omnibus budget bill, C4, that undermines bargaining rights and strips certain public servants of their right to strike. I'm sorry, Mr. Harper, but you don't get to take away my right to strike. That is my right to bargain. It is my right to organize. It's my right to association. You can't have it. So, to talk about that, I'd like to welcome up Brother Gil McGowan, the President of the Alberta Federation of Labour. He will tell us a little bit about what's happening to workers. Brother McGowan was recently elected to his 5th term as the President of the AFL, and he joins us from Edmonton en route to Lethbridge shortly. Brother McGowan, thanks for coming.
Thanks, sister. You know, the last time that Stephen Harper tried to have a party here in Calgary, there was a flood. And today it looks like there may be a blizzard. The next time he arrives, maybe there'll be a plague of locusts.
That's what they are!
They are the plague of locusts, yes. You know, there's actually 2 political conventions going on in Alberta right now. At one of those conventions, there's a group of energized, optimistic people who are committed to building a better Canada. And then, of course, there's that Conservative convention behind us. How many people from out of town are with us today? You know, you guys have known Stephen Harper for about 8 years now. You've got a taste of what it's like to know Stephen. Here in Alberta, we've known him for a little bit longer. We knew him, and we learned a few things about Stephen Harper. We knew him when he was a fledgling Reform Party MP who made a name for himself by challenging things like Medicare. We knew him when he was head of the National Citizens Coalition, who said that maybe we should turn our attention, our support to political icons like Margaret Thatcher and George Bush as opposed to Tommy Douglas. This is the guy that we knew before he was elected as leader of the Conservative Party. But in all those years that we in Alberta have known Stephen, there's some things that we've learned about him that I think that all of you should know. The first thing that you need to know about Stephen Harper is that he is not like most other politicians. This is a political leader who is not just interested in winning elections, and he's not just interested in implementing a platform of government. This is a leader who actually wants to transform Canada in fundamental ways. The Canada that we've built over generations with the support of the labour movement, working in conjunctions with other groups in civil society, a Canada that's characterized by caring and cooperation, a Canada that's brought us things like Medicare, public education, fairness for people in the workplace. That kind of Canada, characterized by what I call the progressive Canadian consensus, that's the kind of Canada that Harper wants to defeat. So he doesn't just want to defeat the Liberals or the New Democrats, he wants to defeat the Canada that we have built. And brothers and sisters, I know a lot of you in the audience are from the labor movement. And this vision that Stephen Harper is bringing through his party and through his government is the reason why he's put a bullseye on the forehead of organized labor. Because he knows something about the labor movement which sometimes we forget ourselves. He knows that we are powerful, or at least potentially powerful. He actually knows something that a famous economist from the United States, a guy named Paul Krugman, he said during the fight in Wisconsin that the labor movement is the only institution able to stand up and provide a counterbalance to corporate power. And that is exactly why the Harper government over the last 2 years has introduced a series of legislation to undermine and weaken the labor movement, and it's why delegates in that hall right now are passing a series of resolutions aimed at weakening the labor movement. It's not because they're concerned about choice. It's not because they want transparency. It's because they want to undermine one of the only institutions left in Canada that can actually protect the values that Canadians hold dear and the institutions that we've built over the years. So sisters and brothers, today I want us to understand what's really going on here. What's really going on in Ottawa and what's really going on behind us today in that convention hall. What's happening is an attempt by the Conservative government to import U.S. Tea Party style Republican values, impose them in a country that doesn't want them. But sisters and brothers, I want to remind you that these people have their hands on the levers of power, so they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to do what they want to do, ram things down the throats of Canadians that they don't want. So we, whether it's the labor movement or broader civil society here in Canada, we have an obligation to stand up for the values that Canadians hold dear and the institutions that we've built over years. We cannot let them transform our country in ways that we cannot recognize that we have an obligation to stand up. So, you know, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Things are going to get worse, but I promise you, sisters and brothers, they are going to get better because we represent the real Canada. We hold the real Canadian values, and eventually those values and the people that we represent will win the day, and Harper will get his just desserts, and it will be he standing out in the cold rather than us. Thank you for coming today.